Okay, so imagine you are going to the gym. And if you don't go to the gym, enlighten me. Imagine you are going to the gym and you are so focused on what you're going to work out, but part of your brain is thinking, how do I look? Do I look like a dumbass? Am I doing this workout right? Ooh, there's a cute guy. How does he look like? How do I look? Am I looking good? Is everything okay? And so part of your attention span is split into two. And that attention span, when it's split into two, is a portion of you in your mind. You're consuming, how much do I look like? How am I being perceived in front of others? How do I want to be perceived? And how do I want to be perceived if I don't know how I'm being perceived? Then I'm going to look onto the audience. You're going to look onto everyone else so that they can tell you how they're perceiving you. And when you know how they're perceiving you, that allows you to think and see, what do I have to change so that they can perceive me differently? What ends up happening is that your perception of yourself and thinking so much of yourself and how much you're coming across and caring too much on what others are thinking about you is first the external, and then you make the changes internal. And I'm going to tell you have it all wrong. Or the action of stop caring, detachment becomes the outcome when you stop caring. So many times, even in your social settings, part of you can care on how much you look, on how much you're being perceived, how you're coming across. And I can sit here and I can convince you, you need to stop caring, you need to do this, but it's like ultimately you're going to continue to do it. Let's jump into a story. Imagine you and me are on a road trip. We're on a road trip and it's about 2 hours and we've been going on a long highway road, if we want to be descriptive. We've just been going straight on the road trip. And you're not so good with directions, so I'm helping you with directions, right? I'm telling you where to go. Obviously, you can use the phone, but let's just say you suck at directions. Okay, and I'm on the passenger seat and I'm telling you, coming up 2 miles, you're gonna turn a right. And it's been 2 hours and we've been driving straight. So the entire time we're used to just driving straight, passing lights, driving straight, and then 2 miles pass and I tell you turn right, and you listen to me, you turn right. But in the moment when I tell you turn right, you're gonna have these following questions. And your questions are gonna be like, what am I gonna pass? Are we getting closer? How many miles are there? What's the timeline? What's the estimated time for arrival? You're gonna ask these questions, and that's totally normal. So when it comes to stop caring, when you stop caring, the initiation of stop caring, detachment becomes the outcome of that. It's the aspect of you need to pivot your stance. You need to pivot the position in which you are viewing others. It becomes so much freeing when you stop caring, when you learn to detach. Now we have to be very careful with this because when it comes to confidence within yourself, or the idea of stop caring so much about what others are saying and learn to invest in yourself, learn to love yourself authentically, self-love, explore yourself. In that process, when I'm saying explore yourself, you have to be careful that you don't become prideful, because when you stop saying, I'm gonna stop caring what others are saying about me. And here's the thing, and it's not saying what others are saying about you is negative. No, when you know more about yourself and the direction in which you're going, there's gonna be people who come and blatantly open their opinions and they can drift you. And so it's really up to you, how much power are you giving their words so that they can drift you. If you say you want to become a doctor, but then someone here who's close to you, who you love so much, says, I don't think you can become a doctor. I don't think you can become that. Their words hit. Their words really hit. But the only way to deflect those words is knowing how much do you trust yourself, how much confidence, how much self-belief you have about you. So oftentimes we're asked these difficult questions, and sometimes these difficult questions, like on oneself, in reflecting or having a period of reflection, a moment of silence, we don't have the answers to those questions because it actually requires you to be intentional. It actually requires for you to sit down with yourself and be still. And so many people struggle with this because obviously with social media and TikTok, and people have the attention span of a fish. You know, people are like scroll, scroll, scroll. This isn't what I want. Information. And so everything's like, and so everything is just fast paced. And it doesn't, the idea of sitting still, it's not appealing. But when you learn to sit still and explore yourself, not only yourself, know your creator, know God, because he created you in his image, right? You, the characteristics and everything about you, there's only one of you. When you learn to sit still and actually have the intentionality of discovering what is it that you actually believe? What is it that you don't understand? And even the things that you don't understand, explore those. And I think so oftentimes people hesitate on exploring the things you don't understand because maybe they're so common sense to all, but not common sense to some. Maybe you'll feel dumb exploring that because you would think that the whole world knows the same information, but it doesn't, and you don't know. And so it's like fearing not that you're exploring yourself. It's like, it doesn't matter if the whole world knows it. You don't know it, but if you took the time to explore that information or explore what you don't know, whether it's, let's say, financial literacy or becoming an entrepreneur or becoming a doctor or becoming a lawyer, you are gonna take the time with intentionality to explore such things that you don't know. Because of the such things you don't know, you're not limited by what you don't understand. But so many times people believe only what they understand, yet there is so much more what they don't understand, and they foolishly refuse to believe what they don't understand. And so the aspect of be still and explore yourself and learn more about yourself with intention and filled with grace. And I speak over and grace about it in my other videos, and it's like, you're finding your way, and that is okay, but you cannot find your way. You cannot detach if you are so consumed in what others are thinking about you. If you are so consumed of the perception of what they have in you. And let me tell you, at the end of the day, just like you and the other person or them who you think they're caring so much of how you think, they're literally in the same situation. And it's like, it's this harsh reality that I want to tell you. It's just, they don't care. People don't care. If you are public speaking and you mess up, and let's say you mess up badly, probably 1 hour, 2 hours later, they're not gonna care. They're gonna be thinking, what do I eat? I have a next exam, or whatever it is. They're not gonna care, but you are gonna care, because your character or how you were thinking, how you were perceived in front of the audience, you're like, oh shoot, they don't care. It's you that's magnifying that error, that mistake when you messed up public speaking. And this is just an example. Learning to stop caring in the perception of others, and not only that, we can talk about it on this broad aspect of, oh yeah, they don't care. No, but there are those, when you propose yourself to set something good in your life, there are going to be times where people who are close to you who will say something in which you did not expect. But because you love them, and because you have taken the time to actually sit still, learn more about yourself, learn more about your creator, you will learn. Oftentimes what ends up happening, if you get so, let's say, if you take things personal, at the end of the day, the things that they're saying to you can be coming based off their insecurities. You don't know it, because you will just think, oh, they're thinking about me, this about me, and this and that. No, sometimes the reason for which they said it is because they themselves are insecure. And if they see that you're actually striving towards your goal, if they see you're actually doing your own stuff, they're gonna say it. And it's probably coming from a deep insecurity. And it's probably the intention of actually hurting you was not there. That probably wasn't the intention. But when you learn to discern that, when you learn to detach, when you learn to stop caring to a degree, meaning no matter what, you're showing up for yourself, and you're believing in yourself, and you're respecting in yourself, and the things in which you don't know about yourself, you're continuing to explore, never to look to the rest of the world or look to those close to you so that they can tell you what you should do. But when they tell you what you should do, you won't like it. Why won't you like it? Because that's not you. That's not who you are. Start to learn to confide in yourself. Start to learn to trust in yourself. And here's the thing about society is that so many times you lie to yourself. You say that you're going to do one thing and you don't do it. So when you don't do it, you can't trust in yourself. And when you don't trust in yourself, you go to that person over there thinking that they're going to tell you what to do. And then when they tell you what to do, it doesn't correlate. And so then there's this friction. And so now it's like, okay, that's not it. So I'm going to go with this person over here and they're going to tell me what to do. That doesn't work as well. And then now you're so consumed on the perception of others and thinking about others. And that's like, well, what about you? Take the time to work on yourself. Did you actually, explore it? Like, why are you going to that person? Why are you going in? So oftentimes it's like those who have like groups of friends or whatever, right? If you have groups of friends or whatever it may be, sometimes the urge to ask for someone's opinion on this, why don't you ask yourself the opinion? What do you say about it? How strongly is your opinion? How strongly do you advocate for yourself? How strongly is it? Do you advocate it more than those around you? And me saying that's like, oh wow, you're saying like to be selfish. Selfish isn't bad. Showing up for yourself and advocating for yourself so that when others do fail, because it's like, at the end of the day, they're humans. You can look direction. I would say, I personally look direction in my creator, but look direction first and what you're strongly advocating for. Because if you don't, and you place your expectation on others and the perceptions that they have about you, you'll start to believe them. You're changing based on what they're saying about you. You're not changing based on what you believe about yourself. So it's really important to know, who are you strongly advocating for? Yourself or others? Your perception about yourself and how you want to come off, or others. So let's say you're trying to change how you're being perceived, right? Let's say you're trying to change something about, and this is just a random example. Let's say you're like this introvert, super timid, you just want to come off more witty, relaxed. You want to come off more witty and relaxed. You're not going to go and ask the opinions, hey, am I witty? Hey, am I funny? Or something like that. Am I more relaxed? No. It's almost like saying, if you want to be more witty and you want to be more relaxed, what are certain things that I have to do so that can be the outcome for me to be those things? You're not going to just be. You're going to do before you be. If I want to be more relaxed, okay, so when someone's talking to me about something that happened to them, I can be more relaxed instead of being so outly spoken and strongly opinionated or offensive. I can be more chill. In those moments, you will be challenging yourself. Those will be the inputs that will then have you, oh, she's more relaxed and she's witty. Or he's witty. He is relaxed. He's chill. He's fine. I can ask you, do you think you're relaxed and witty? And so when you self-reflect and you take the time to be still and understand yourself and with more intentionality and being authentic, you realize, do I think, and this is going based on the example, do I think I'm more witty and relaxed? You're going to actually think about it and you're like, yeah. Confidently, you're going to say that because you have confidently worked on it and you have been intentional with it. But if you lie to yourself and you don't show up for yourself, then you're gonna ask a question, do I think I have been more wittingly and relaxed? Yeah. No, you haven't. You haven't. Like, you will know when you're lying to yourself. Because oftentimes the goodest liars of them all are ourselves. To ourselves. Is us to ourselves. We're good liars, us to ourselves. You are a good liar to yourself. So it's actually like, let's be honest. You know, and this started with detaching, but it's understanding this, that when you stop caring, and it's going back, you know, you stop caring about what others are saying about you and you just stop caring about the perception of how you're perceived and you start working on yourself and being authentic with yourself and being intentional with yourself and saying, can I trust myself? Can I trust myself to show up? Because oftentimes you have lied to yourself. If it's not lying that you don't acknowledge, then your pride gets in the way. And so when your pride gets in the way, it really is hard to have so many thought of reasoning, have so many thought of wisdom, have so many thought of a change in pivoting your direction in your life. You refuse to admit maybe where you have been wrong. You've refused to admit where you have lied to yourself. It becomes so much freeing when you learn that you can trust in yourself. There's so much security when you learn that you can show up for yourself. Because you have showed up for yourself. You've done the work for yourself. You've done the work with yourself. And it's not running away from your ugly parts. It's not running away from, it's actually embracing those things. It's embracing it and learning to love yourself. But it's hard to love yourself when you are so focused on what is the perception that he has of me, or what is the perception that she has of me. Should I, change? Should I do this? Should I look different? No, you should not. Stop caring. And the detachment becomes the outcome when you stop caring. And suddenly, what you cared so much about didn't matter as much. But it's also realizing that when you learn to confide in yourself and you learn that you can trust in yourself, you can also, when you've gone into that stage, because this takes time, this isn't a flip. When you have learned to trust in yourself, when you have learned to have this confidence in yourself, you will learn that it's like, it really isn't about me. The pressure gets taken off when your eyes are so much on you, when you're trying to present something to the world or prove something, and you realize, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. And you don't need to do that. And that comes from working on yourself and being intentional with yourself. And the point, when you get to that stage, when you feel like, I don't need to perform, I can just be me, you can just be you, and all in your imperfections, and you can know that along the way, you're improving and you're learning and you're gonna mess up, and it's fine, but because that's a part of the process, you start to see that it's not about you. So when you go to the gym and you see someone maybe struggling, your eyes are not constantly, or how do I look, how do I think? No, it's like, how can I help this person? And you're gonna think, why would I want to help someone? God didn't put you on this earth to serve yourself. Put you on this earth by your gifts, with your gifts, to serve others. And so it's suddenly then, when you've gotten to that level, you'll see there's gifts to you that can be exponentially big and grand for others and can change and help other people's lives. And suddenly you will feel that, oh wow, I feel much more fulfilled. Because it wasn't about you at the end of the day, but that's to a certain point, to a certain degree. But ultimately what I want you guys to take away is it becomes so much freeing when you stop caring, when you learn to detach. It becomes so freeing, and I want that for you guys. It's not a switch like this. It takes time. It takes time understanding yourself and your patterns and maybe the reason why you're carrying so much, and also your story and your background that plays into this. Thank you guys so much for watching and sticking till the end of this video. I hope you got a takeaway. Comment down below what is that one takeaway, and I hope that you realize just the power of when you stop caring, you will start to detach from things that don't need attachment, and there will be less hurt because it's like, oh wow, what you thought mattered didn't matter as much as you thought it did. Subscribe and hit that like button. Double dab.